Hi, welcome to this video. In this video I will show you how to create a necklace using metal charms and pendants. I will use this metal pendant, these metal charms in the shape of feathers, and black and white beads. So these are 6 millimeter beads. They are wooden beads. So this is the natural color of wood, and these are painted in black. To make the necklace, I will also need some thread, and I have chosen this black nylon thread. As a closure, I have chosen this ornamental closure, and in order to assemble these parts I will need some findings. For the end of the necklace I will use these bead ends, bead tips. I will need some crimps, and some jump rings. And beside the jump rings, the findings, in order to make a necklace we need tools. I will talk a bit about the tools that we shall use. So, as you can see here, we have different types of pliers. The type of pliers that we use the most often with jewelry is this type of plier, which is pointed here and has no teeth here, and it is called the chain nose pliers. So these pliers are called the chain nose pliers. They are flat here without teeth so that they do not scratch the findings. Here I have another type of pliers that I might use in case I want to open and close, for example, the jump rings. Also for the jump rings I need this jump ring opener. For the crimps I might use either the crimping pliers or the chain nose pliers. To measure the length of the necklace I will use the measuring tape. As you can see, it is in centimeters and in inches. And for the thread I will need the scissors and the lighter. And in order to put the beads on the thread I will use the big eye beading needle. So let's remove the needle from the package. And now let's talk about the length of the necklace. For a normal necklace around the neck for a woman, I usually choose a necklace of about 36 centimeters. That would be about 14 inches. If you want to make a necklace around the neck, but for men, you can add 1.5 or 2 inches. That would be between 40 and 42 centimeters long for men. So for women it's 36 centimeters, that is 14 inches, and for men you can make it 40 to 42 centimeters, that would be 16 or 17 inches. Of course, whenever you create a necklace for somebody you know, you should measure exactly the length that the person prefers for the necklace. And now let's begin with creating the necklace. We shall take the thread, and as the first step I will make a few knots. So I will make these knots at the end of my thread, so that the beads do not fall off the thread. Like this. This way. Now, as you can see, I have, let's see from a closer distance, I have this. Let's move the beads and the findings away so that we can see what we are doing. Like this. We have the end of the thread here, so I can cut a little bit of this end of the thread here, and with the lighter I will burn the end of the thread, and by burning the nylon thread it will melt and stick to the knot so that the knot will be more resistant. And now let's put the thread on the needle. When you put the thread on the needle, you should remember that the needle may be a little sharp on the inside here, and it might cut a bit of the thread. So whenever you choose some thread, you should make sure that you add 3 or 3.5 inches as length to the length of the necklace that you want. So if you have a necklace of 14 inches, so the entire necklace should be not longer than 14 inches, then you can add 3 inches or 3.5 inches to the thread so that you can make the knots at the end of the thread, and also cut a bit of the thread, because as I told you, the place where the thread goes through the needle, the thread may be cut a little bit because the needle is sharp inside here. So you should be able to cut off the damaged part of the thread, the part that is damaged by the needle. And now I will take one of those crimps So I've taken 2 crimps, and I will put one of the crimps on my needle this way. And I'll bring and the crimp should stop at the point where the knot is. And here I'm going to press on the crimp this way, And as you can see, our crimp is now flat, so it will not slip over the knot, and it also blocked the thread, and it will not move up and down on the thread anymore. Now, I will take one of those bead end caps and put it on our needle this way, and you will see that because of the crimp and the knot, the thread will stop like this, and it will not come out through the orifice of the bead cap. And now let's close the bead end, this bead end, with the pliers, so that the knot and the crimp are no longer visible. So this bead at the end of my necklace is masking the knot at the end of the thread. And now let's take one of those jump rings So I will take this jump ring, grab it with the pliers, with the chain nose pliers, and with the jump ring opener and the chain nose pliers, I have opened the jump ring and I will put it through my bead end. Now I will also put the closure, the clasp, inside the jump ring, and now we can close the jump ring. So I can use either the jump ring opener or the other pair of pliers to close the jump ring. And now, as you can see, the end of our necklace is finished. And now we can start putting the beads on our thread and creating the necklace. So I will begin with the white beads, and I will alternate black and white beads. So I put 3 white beads, so 3 white beads, a black bead, 3 white beads, a black bead. And I will continue until I reach the middle. I get closer to the middle of the necklace. And now I will start adding the metal pendants. I will put the small feather pendant. Now I will put a white and a black, so 2 white beads and a black bead. I will put the next feather pendant, the larger feather pendant, again a white bead, a black bead and another white bead. I'll put one more white bead, and now I have reached the middle of the pendant, and I will put the half moon ornament, the half moon pendant. I will put 2 white beads, 1 black bead, and another white bead, this way. So what we have to take into consideration is that our beads and pendants must be placed symmetrically. I'll put the second pendant, again a white, a black and a white bead, and the last pendant, the small metal pendant, like this. So we have finished the ornamental part with the pendants and with the metal charms, and we can continue adding beads by following the rule of the beads from this point to this point. So I will add 3 white beads, then a black bead, and so on. like this. And now we have finished adding the beads, and all we have to do now is close the necklace. In order to close the necklace, I will take the bead end and I will open it, because we shall have to work inside of this bead end to create the knot at the end of our bead. So I put the bead on my needle and on the thread, and I will take the second crimp, put it on the needle, bring it inside the thread. Now I will remove the needle, and as you can see, let's see from a closer distance now. Like this. As you can see, now we have the bead end on our thread and the crimp. The crimp must be made flat by using the pliers, so that it will block the beads from coming out on this thread like this. When you decide where the crimp should be placed, you must take into consideration that the beads should not be too tight together, too compressed like this, because as you can see, if they are too compressed, the necklace is too rigid and it doesn't look good. The beads will not look nice. They will look somewhat like this. So some of them go up, some of them go down, if they are too compressed. If they are too loose, as you can see, the thread is visible. So when you decide where to put the crimp, you should take into consideration that the beads should not be too tight to one another, nor too loose. So you can leave about 1 millimeter of space on the thread and then press on the crimp. This way your beads have a little bit of space to move. Now I have pressed on my crimp, and the crimp is pressing on the thread so that the beads will not come out. In order to make sure that this crimp does not move, you can also add a few knots above the crimp here at this point. So let's make a few knots here. So as you can see, the longer the thread is here, the easier it will be to create these knots. So it is always important to leave a few inches on the thread so that you can make these final knots on the thread of our necklace. So I made one knot, let's make another knot. So as you can see, I opened the bead cap so that I can make these knots here. That I have space, enough space to make the knots here. And now that I made some knots here, I will take the scissors, cut the thread, and I will burn the end of the thread this way. And now I can close the bead end. So now I've closed the bead end with the pliers. I will take the last jump ring. I will open it. I will put the jump ring through the bead end like this. And I will put the and now I will put the clasp and close the jump ring. This way. And now let's see what our finished necklace looks like. So this is the finished necklace. So as you can see, I put 4 beads between the pendant and the feather charm because the pendant is a bit wider here and there should be a symmetry between the ornaments. So this is the finished necklace. I hope you liked the necklace, I hope you liked the video, and thank you for watching.